What's going on, world? My name is Eric D. Seals, and today we are focusing on lighting and making sure your lighting doesn't look amateur. So I'll see interviews, documentaries, corporate work, branded series on a regular basis. And I ain't gonna lie, I look at the interview sometimes and I'm like, no, they could have done a little bit better. So I'm gonna go through each step on how you can make your interviews look way better through lighting and positioning just with a couple of steps. This has nothing to do with the gear. I'm filming on the FX9. We're gonna use a 50mm lens, but it doesn't matter what camera you have or what lens you have, you can make all of these changes, okay? So we have Melissa here who's sitting in for us. Thank you so much for being here today. And if you look at the framing, I don't think I would see too many people that would start with their framing like this. But instead of just automatically fixing it, I'm gonna change each thing so you can see what we're doing. So the first thing that I see with this image, well, there's multiple things, like my eyes are actually itching as I look at it because I'm just like, there's so many things wrong with this image right now, but it happens. So the first thing that I wanna do with this lighting setup is I wanna get her away from the background, okay? Right now you can notice that the lighting that is happening in this room right now is lighting her and the background the same exact way, and it's just kind of all mixing together, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this camera back so that we can get into a better position for lighting. All right. And so now, can you bring your chair with you and help me out? And I think I'm gonna have you somewhere right here. Let's give that a try. So let's first move it this way. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then angle it towards this right here. Perfect. Let's try that real quick. Thank you for cooperating. And already I see a nice difference. So there's some separation from the background, but if you notice, there's still a couple of things wrong that we're gonna address shortly. But when you're trying to fix your interview setup, don't try to do too much at one time. That can be bad. So right now, I think you can kind of notice that the white balance is incorrect. Okay, so right now it's set for tungsten at 3200. And right now we have a majority of daylight coming in, but we also have these overhead fluorescents that are happening at the same time. Now, you don't always have to turn off the light, but you don't want to have too many different temperatures going at the same time. Sometimes you can control it, sometimes you can't. So I'm gonna go turn off these lights real quick, and that's gonna help the lighting in here. Sometimes it makes a huge difference, sometimes it makes a small difference, but the thing that we do know now, the room is being lit by outside, okay? So daylight. So the next thing I wanna do is I wanna change the temperature to daylight. So I'm setting it to 5600. But it still feels off, okay? Her skin tone matches more to real life right now, because before it was super blue. And so what you're gonna wanna do is you need to put some ND on. Depending on what camera, you might have it internally or you might have to add something to the front of your lens. So I'm gonna pop this on real quick. And this camera has a variable ND. You can really see that the image is coming to life once I pop that on. And some people's interview, you could roll with this. We're gonna make it look a little bit better, but this is something that you can go with right now, okay? So at this point, we've taken her off the wall. We have changed the temperature and we've turned off the fluorescent lights up top. So the next thing that we wanna do is we wanna separate her from the background with our lighting. And so we're gonna add our own artificial light. I'm using the Aperture 600D, which is my go-to light on many situations. And we're gonna look at how we're gonna set this up. Now, this is gonna be really hard for me to do because I have to show this wrong to teach some people out there, okay? But I'm gonna show you that there's two things happening right now. One, the light is too hard. And two, not only is there no directional, it's just flat on the person's face, which means that it's just like, it's gonna be too much, okay? So please close your eyes for a sec, okay? Because I would never point this in someone's face like that. But as you can see, so right now, technically she does have light on her, but there's a couple of things that are happening right now. Number one, way too harsh. And you can tell because it's just blasting off of her face. It's just like, this is way too much right now. And also it's not directional. It's even on both sides. And we wanna fix both of those things, okay? So we're gonna fix one thing at a time. First thing I'm gonna fix is I'm gonna put some diffusion on there. But one thing you'll notice is your light for this type of interview setup should never be this close to your camera. It should be more at a 45 degrees. Sometimes you can go 90 degrees on how dramatic you want it to look. Sometimes people split the difference, but this is way too close to the camera. So we're gonna adjust it. But first let's put some diffusion on there. So I'm gonna turn it off. Gonna take this off. And this is just a light dome that I'm putting on. Sorry, I can't put it on with my left hand, Angel. So I'm blocking all of you. It's okay. It's okay. All right. And I'll take this off for now. Okay, and now I'm gonna turn it back on. Close your eyes just in case. Angel, let's get you back over here. And you can already tell it's a lot softer. Melissa, can you open your eyes? Is that okay? Yeah. Did it already feel different than how you had it before? Okay, not you had it, I had it. But you notice we fixed one thing. I didn't change the intensity, I just put some diffusion on it, and that softens the light because you want soft light in these situations. But the other thing that we need to adjust is notice that both sides of her face are completely even when it comes to lighting. Essentially, the light is evenly lit on both sides of her face, and we want some contrast. We want the key side to be a little bit brighter than the fill side, okay? So I'm gonna move this light so that we can create a more dynamic look with the interview, and so that the light can be directional, because right now the light is not directional, it is just hitting her. We want the light to come from the motivated side. Since I can see the window camera right, I want the light to come from that side, okay? So let's go ahead and move that over. So you're gonna see this happen in real time as I adjust the light, okay? So this comes down to taste as well, and I personally like the light to be more on the side than others, but I won't go too much for this interview setup. But this is loosely where I would have the lighting on her, okay? And you can already see camera left is starting to fall off a little bit more. She has more key on camera right. You can start to see that it's starting to shape up the image a little bit more, okay? The reason we want the light slightly higher than her is because everything that we do in lighting is based off of what we see in real life, okay? So the sun is naturally higher than all of us, and we're used to seeing light shining down. And so when we do an interview to mimic the sun to a certain degree, we want the light to be higher because that's more aesthetically pleasing to our eyes. So I'm gonna move in a little bit closer, and then I see that I'm in frame, and boom, I'm gonna take it out, okay? And so now, the lighting is on her, and it allows me to bring down the intensity a little bit if I need to. But now if you look at the lighting, everything is too bright in here, okay? I can't control outside, but I can control the light inside, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase my ND, and you're gonna notice now the background is getting a little darker. At this point, this is too far. This is like if we're doing a movie and maybe it's really dramatic, right? And you need to keep that in mind. But if you're doing something that's creative or a branded doc, you don't want to be that dark, okay? So I'm also looking at my false color, because one thing I'm gonna try to do is not clip outside, but I'm gonna clip a little bit. But right now, I need to brighten her up. The background is where I want it, the window is fine, but she's a little bit too dark, okay? So yes, I need to increase the intensity, but I'm also gonna back it up a little bit because I don't wanna just hit her with too much light, okay? So I'm just gonna back it up slightly, and I'm giving it a little bit more of an angle, and then I'm just gonna increase the intensity just a little bit. Might utilize my phone because now I'm dialing it in, and I wanna make sure, see, this is where it needs to be, so it's not, technically not clipping. It's close to clipping, but then if you look at my image, yeah, that can make that work. So I'm gonna increase the intensity on her. but I don't want it to be too harsh on her. So now, if you look at her face, the key side is looking good, but the blend of her fill side, it's too like on off. It doesn't gradually blend. And the way that we're gonna fix that is just by putting a reflector up. So this is a 5-in-1 reflector. It's got a white side, it's got a gold side. I use gold a lot. I like the way that it adds color back to people's skin tone, but sometimes I'll use the white side as well, just because it's less drastic or it's not as intense. And so for this one, I'm gonna use the white side. And similar to the key light, I want to get this relatively close to her, but I'm also using the light from the window and my key source, my key light, to bounce back into her. So this is, if someone says, can you audition something for you? That's to see it either on or off or in and out, okay? So if someone asks me to Hollywood this real quick, that means to hold it. Okay, can you Hollywood that real quick and then audition it for me? I didn't know these terms, and so the first time someone told me to do that, I said, you want me to what? Hollywood it? What? It's okay. All right, so this is in, this is out. So see at the side of her face how that's bringing it up? That's making it so it's not so harsh. And it's not adding another light. I rarely, almost ever put a light on the fill side. Okay, so we're gonna do that right here. Okay. Yep, that brought that side a little bit, and then I'm gonna adjust again. And we're at 5600. That's good. This is my secret weapon. Maybe costs, it's not $15. I think this thing is like 80. It's pretty expensive actually, but this is my secret weapon. You can get this on many stores online. What this does is a couple of things. One, it's a white balance card, but the side that I'm using mostly is this. This gives you the key colors that you can submit into most nonlinear editing platforms, but particularly DaVinci, where I use it the most. And it already has this X-Rite color checker built into their system. You show this to your image, you show this image, you just get a still of it, and then it goes and does all the algorithmic calculations to see what the color should have been in that room, and you get the perfect color every single time. This is a cheat code. I almost don't want to share this with people. Sometimes people will say, man, how do your interviews look so good? This is my secret weapon, okay? I usually will hand this to someone on my team because they know exactly how to use it. But Melissa's really smart, so she's gonna get it right away. It's funny, every time I hand this to someone, they think it's a makeup palette, and I'm like, I get it, you know, all the different skin tones, but I don't know anybody who's green, you know. Okay, so when you hold it, if you can hold it like this, okay, and hold it to the side of your face.
Right or left?
It doesn't matter. Actually, it probably does matter. It should probably be on the key side. So she is holding it perfectly. I don't want people to hold it in front of their face because I still need to utilize it to see the color chart and see their face. And I want it to be straight, and I just want them to hold it for like 5-10 seconds. The key thing is it needs to be in focus, so I have people hold it by their face so that it's the same as their eye. I record it for a few seconds. If I have 2 cameras, I have them face each camera. We just have 1 camera right now, and that's all you need to do, and I'm telling you, this is the cheat code, okay? Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that's one of the last steps that I do, so you can add that to your system if you want to improve your lighting. So you want to make sure that your subject is separated from the wall so that the lighting isn't hitting them and the wall at the same intensity. You want some separation between those two. Next, you want to make sure that the light or the overheads are off. Sometimes you want to keep them on depending on what the situation looks like, but you want to be intentional about it. The next thing you want to consider is making sure that your light is directional. If the framing has windows to the right side, or if you have a laptop, or if you have a light bulb, make sure that there's directional lighting that's matching what we're seeing in frame. You want to also make sure that the light is softened. Intense lighting for interviews does not work out well. And last but not least, make sure your temperature is correct. You want to make sure that your either filming at 3200 because you have tungsten lighting that's filling the room. A lot of people get this wrong because a lot of the times you'll have mixed lighting and that's okay, but what light source is dominating the room? So if it's tungsten, you're gonna be at 3200, I said 36, 3200. If it's a mixed source, you can sit at 4200, and then if it's daylight, you wanna be at 5600. The key thing that you don't wanna do is have auto white balance, because that means every time you move the camera, it changes, and a colorist is not gonna be able to fix that for you. So those are the main things that I see people mess up on. Fix those items and your lighting can instantly get better.